Caffeinated, always good. Look, now we have a very special announcement and a little show. And I would like to introduce you to David Waxman, who is one of the most known people in crypto marketing and scene, right? And David is going to tell us a little bit about the show.
Thank you so much, Olga. So 2 hours ago, the great Robert Hackett at Fortune magazine announced that a social network, the one that created social live streaming with millions of users, that already had a virtual economy with millions of dollars in payouts, is going to be coming to crypto. So it's my honor to represent and to introduce Adi Seidman and the YouNow team. Come on up, guys. Jonathan as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Olga.
Thanks,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Adi Seidman, and this is my colleague, Jonathan Sela. We're here to introduce our new project, Props. It's a decentralized ecosystem for video applications. We're mobile video guys. We've been doing it for many years. We practically, as David said, invented mobile live streaming in the US. And as you can see, it has become a big market ever since. We're very proud to have a significant mind share of that market. So we have about 40 million registered users. Our users spend about 50 minutes each day on the platform. And we're seeing more and more brands and media companies who are bringing in their content for the opportunity for audiences to participate, interact with that content in an interactive way. The engagement that we talked about, that 50 minutes, translates into an exciting business. And this is another thing that we were the first to do. In 2014, we introduced a two-sided market where consumers can buy into a virtual currency. This is in-game non-crypto currency, and use it to buy virtual goods, give flowers and likes on the screen, and then content creators can earn them and earn on the network. We are working within this intersection between video, social gaming, and microtransactions. And you'll see in one of the slides ahead, it's a very exciting intersection. We're going to take this experience, we're going to take this business, we're going to take this community of millions, and we're going to leverage it along with a new dimension and a new layer of crypto and blockchain in order to achieve an even bigger vision and bigger opportunity, and that is to disrupt digital media. So with that, we're introducing Props, and I'm going to hand it over to Jonathan.
Thanks. So Props is a decentralized digital media ecosystem. And digital media today is pretty heavily concentrated with a couple of big players who own most of it. Now that creates a couple of problems. One is around distribution. Distribution of content is highly centralized. Just this week we saw YouTube taking down hundreds of thousands of hours of content that documented what happened in Syria. And I don't think we want to be in a situation where, you know, a few people can decide on how the collective memory of history looks like. The second problem has to do with the disproportionate distribution of value. And this is a key point. A couple of companies have generated hundreds of billions of dollars in enterprise value. But the people comprising these networks, the creators, the users, the developers building on top of them, all of them have received a very, very small portion of the enterprise value that these networks have created. In fact, all of that value flows, or the vast majority of it flows to the founders of these networks and to the very early stage investors. With Props, we're trying to really reshape that and really create a different type of economy. And we think that by tokenizing the digital media economy, we can achieve greater decentralization of the distribution, and we can much more equitably and proportionally distribute the value that is generated on a digital media network. So, for example, if you take creators or influencers in current digital media, Snapchat creators, They've created insane value for Snapchat, but when Snapchat IPO'd for $25 billion, they've seen very, very, very little in value out of that. That's different when you run a token economy. With props, a creator earning gets a strong personal stake in the network and in its long-term success. Take a media company distributing its content on the current digital media incumbents. They're basically bound to distribute there based on a feed logic that's defined to them, and effectively their margins are squeezed. In a tokenized digital media economy, they can earn in tokens and effectively become partners in that success. So take every contributor in this network, whether they're a user, a content curator, a content creator, a developer building on top of these networks, and as well as the founders and the crypto enthusiasts that help jumpstart these networks. All of these people can earn in tokens. And what that does is that it helps align the long-term incentives of all of these people. And it also helps create multiple players within this network because every developer is incentivized to build on top of it. And the economy is by definition decentralized. This means distribution becomes more decentralized as well. Now, here's how we come into play with this thing. Adi described the community that we currently have and the type of economy we're currently running. We are consumer product guys. And we're going to make this the first time that millions of people in the YouNow community and outside of it will start enjoying on their mobile devices a consumer-grade level experience on their phones. They don't need to know anything about crypto. They don't need to be crypto enthusiasts. They don't need to understand anything about how the underlying economy works. All they need to know is that they can engage. And if they engage, they can earn in tokens. And those tokens actually come to them in a push notification at the end of the day if they've created value. And these can be very small microtransactions, or if it's a big creator or a big media company, these can be big ones. So this is going to be the first time that for the masses on mobile, you're going to see media engagement equaling something like cryptocurrency mining. And that's an exciting concept. So we are going to do that with a token that's going to be in use from day one. This token is going to have a lot of utility in the network. It's deeply integrated into how the experience works. It's used for payments. It's used for status signaling. It's used for influence on how content is promoted. It's used for access to content. And as we said, it's used to compensate different key stakeholders in this ecosystem. Now, we know a lot about how to do this kind of thing because effectively today, we have a non-crypto token that powers all of these functionalities. By making it a crypto token, we can open the gates for any developer to build inside our platform, outside our platform using this token. And we open the gates for all the different stakeholders that we mentioned earlier to be aligned around the same long-term personal stake in this network and participation in the long-term value. So actually, before we get to that, this token is going to be available from day one. We've been working on this project for a year. And this token is going to be used from day one in this new app called Rise.
So Rise is the first mobile app on the props ecosystem. It's a many-to-many video platform that is open for developers to create any kind of use case and experience they want. And we're going to look at some examples, and we'll look at a live demo in just a couple of minutes. So, rapid development. You get the access to the technology. You don't have to build it. You get access to the economic powers with the two-sided market and access to distribution on day one. And we chose live streaming as the first use case because it lends itself so well. As Jonathan mentioned, this is already a behavior that's in the world, and we are now bringing it to crypto, besides the fact that, as you can see, it's an extremely lucrative return there. So we're not just bringing it to millions of consumers. As importantly, we're bringing it to thousands of influencers. These are, consider YouTubers with hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of followers who are already earning in fiat today. And tomorrow they're going to be earning in token, which is going to give them more than just liquidity, but a real personal stake in the platform. We're also bringing a consumer-grade wallet that is going to be serving not just the Rise platform, but any app and platform on the props ecosystem. So we talked a little bit about developers. We want to get to the demo, and I want to show you just a few examples of what developers can do. Here's a simple example, karaoke. Everybody's live. I'm dragging my friend. I'm dragging a piece of content, and we're participating in front of an audience. On the left side, we see watching together, in this case, linear content. Any MTV show can be now watched with your friends. On the right side, America's Got Talent has been doing auditions on you now for the past 3 years. Forever they wanted to have these two buttons on the screen. Now they can actually build it using the API of this open platform. This one is a little bit of a quirky example. I don't know if you know this game Mafia Wars or Werewolf. It's all the rage in China right now. The top 5 apps are all werewolf apps. It's a social game that usually you play in parties, and you need 5 to 10 people to play it. Well, if you're alone at home, you can now play it on mobile devices in China, and it's a multi-billion-dollar craze. And so our chairman of the board asked me the other day, he said, Adi, can we do that on Rise with props? And I said, yes, this is exactly an example where we don't need to go and raise $5 million from VCs. We're giving developers the infrastructure to do many-to-many, the ability to decide what the logic in the room and the interaction will be, the control over how the economy is going to flow and how the rewards are going to be distributed within their space that they developed, and the distribution on day one. So let's jump into the demo. And demo is going to be about 2 minutes, and afterwards we have just a couple of slides to wrap up. So this is actually on 4G because the Wi-Fi just before did not connect. So this is a real live test here. And let's see if our real live test is going to deliver. I'm going to disconnect it from the cable, and I will try again here. Maybe my data plan doesn't work in Switzerland. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to jump to the last couple of slides, and then we'll see if the demo loads by then. So let's go to the next slide.
Right, so maybe we'll get a chance to look at Rise. Either way, it launches together with a token. And this is the idea, is that Rise is just one app within an ecosystem. What it's going to do is build a very large user base. We're going to seed it with millions of YouNow users and thousands of influencers. And these guys are going to be holding wallets with props in them. And what's going to happen is that both users can participate on Rise, as well as developers building extensions of the type we've seen earlier, and media companies being able to deliver their linear content there, all of them earning in props. But developers and other media companies can choose to create their own apps or their own platforms inside this ecosystem, and every participant in this ecosystem receives props rewards as a proportion of the usage that they drive. So ultimately, we're going to see 50% of props go to a foundation that's responsible for this rewards engine. Programmatically, the rewards are distributed, ultimately making their way into the different stakeholders. And ultimately, about 70% of the tokens are going to be with the public over time. We're also creating a non-profit foundation, as I said. And YouNow itself, as a company, is transitioning into a B Corp that's fully committed to drive props upwards. And that's basically the idea. Can we see the demo?
I think we have the live demo here.
All right.
We just changed networks here. So Sebastian, you want to put it on, please? So here I am. Everybody's live. Let me go ahead and drag Sarah on the screen. Hi, Sarah. How's it going? Good, good. Let me go ahead and drag Mike. Hey, Mike, how's it going? And let me go ahead and drag Gretchen. Hey, Gretchen. How's it going? Good, good. I'm going to go ahead and give you some virtual goods here. And I'll give Sarah some goods as well. And just so we see how fast this thing is and how real-time this video technology is, I'm going to go ahead and drag Gretchen out and drag Gretchen back in. And you see it's all instantaneous. Everybody is live. Everybody in the audience is live. Every person that's watching, whether it's thousands of or millions. Candice, why don't we go into your room so I can be in the audience for a second and we can see how it is to watch a linear experience together. So we'll see you in the Gretchen room. Here we are. So now I'm in the audience. Whatever is loading up there, that can be a video, that can be live streaming. Let me go ahead and add some friends down here so that I can chat with them. Hi, Anna. Hi, Annie. Hi, Sarah. How's it going? So now I'm with my small group of friends. Again, the idea is anybody can give anybody, anybody can like anybody, anybody can pay anybody, and all of it is done through an in-game experience on this platform, Rise, which has the flexibility to program any kind of logic of interaction, whether it's a card game or other examples the way we looked. So that's that. We are really excited to launch this today. Fortunate that there was a Fortune article just an hour ago about the launch and that we're unveiling it here. And the most important thing for us is to call out to developers and content creators to join the system. Obviously, there's a bunch of content creators already testing it, and we want to spread the word because here we're not going to take tax on your earnings. You're going to be a partner in the network from day one, and we look forward to supporting developers and creating all these terrific use cases that you can do on interactive video. So thank you very much.
Thank you.